Hello, this is Christy. Welcome to a new Camtasia tutorial video. In this one, I'm going to show you a nice effect, a nice workaround to having video in a device screen, on a device screen. Not only that, but Camtasia doesn't allow you to distort video. So if you have a device that is not upfront, straight up, vertical, pointing at the screen, it can be hard to place a video inside of that device screen. So Camtasia does come with some built-in device frames, but they are usually just straight up 90 degrees angles, and it's very easy to place a video inside of them. But how about if you want to put a video inside of a device that is not straight, it's kind of slanted at an angle, and we will look at another one where that device is actually moving. So we are looking at a video that we can place a video inside of another video that has a device on it and place our video inside of that device's screen. Like you see in my example videos here, one of the examples is showing a static video and the static device with a video inside of it, and another one is going to show a moving video device with another video inside of it. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve both of these effects using just tools inside of Camtasia. Now, as you know, Camtasia does not have motion tracking, it doesn't have rotoscoping, and we will still be able to do that without these things. We will still be able to achieve our effects, and you will see there's a little bit of a catch at the end, but apart from that, it's perfectly achievable. And let's have a look how it's done. So I am in Camtasia here. I'm going to do the first example first. So I'm going to import two videos that I'm going to use for my example. I'm going to drag these onto my media bin, and you can see them. There's one video of a person typing on a laptop. So this is the first example. If I place this on my canvas, you will see that the person typing on this laptop and carefully keeping their hands away from the screen. This video was obviously made with that purpose in mind, to be able to replace that screen with a video of your choice. And you notice that the screen in this video is not straight up to the camera. It's on to one side, it's slanted, it has a bit of a perspective to it. So because Camtasia doesn't allow you to distort any clips like that, let's see how we can achieve this effect in Camtasia. So this is the video I'm going to use as the device frame. And the second video is the video of some flying building, flying around some buildings in a city. I'm just going to place this one here as well. It's not the same dimensions, but it's not a problem. And both of these videos are downloaded from pexels.com if you want to go there and you find them and you can use them in your examples. I'm going to link below to these exact videos to the site so you can take them and practice for yourself. So this is the video I want to place on that laptop. If I resize this here, and you can, of course, you have to, if you want to rotate it, you can see that it doesn't really fit in that area. You may try and scale it, you hold down the shift key and distort it a little bit, but you can see it's not really doing the trick. So how can we do this? Well, the first thing is, let's use the advanced rotation along the various axes. And if we zoom in here, you will see that my video, let me just undo this distortion that I did. So the video is up front, up straight. So how can I make that fit onto that laptop screen? Very easy. I can use the Control and Shift keys when I drag on top of this video. And you notice now the video, I am moving it in 3D space. Right? So Control and Shift keys will allow you to rotate along all the three axes at the same time. So if you notice on the right side in the properties for Camtasia's clip properties here, you have rotation and you have the Z, Y, and X axes. You can select this rotation control here and you rotate the video like this, and you can use the Y axis and do it like this and the X like that. But it's much easier to just hold down Control and Shift and just drag around the video from somewhere on the side or somewhere on the center is going to easily be relative to your mouse location. So that makes it very easy to rotate a video in sort of 3D space. It's not a distortion because Camtasia doesn't have distort like in other software where you can just drag the edges of the clips and then it would distort them. That would make this very easy to achieve. But what we will do is we will just rotate this along all of the axes until it matches with the laptop screen almost perfectly. And I say almost perfectly because although there is a kind of like a perspective effect there where the furthest edge is getting smaller and the closest edge of the image is larger, we may not actually be able to distort it to fit exactly the laptop screen. So you can actually help by making the opacity lower like this, and just Control-Shift again and just keep aligning your clip to that location, move it up and down, and if you have to, use the Shift key to just adjust one side of it and the Shift key to adjust the other side, and just always watch the corners, watch the edges, and it's a very good idea to always make your clip just a little bit outside of the device screen. That's called like a bleed area, and I will show you how we can hide that so our video clip will look like it was perfectly placed inside of that screen. So let me just finish this. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit more. You can see here at the bottom I still have a little bit of edge. I can use the Shift key to pull down on this, and if you don't want to distort it too much, you can still go back to the Shift and Control keys and just pull up or down until the video matches perfectly, almost perfectly. Now I'm just going to use the Shift key a little more and just pull up and down here until my video matches almost perfectly on the device screen. That was the catch I was telling you about. Because we are lacking those distortion functions, we cannot actually make the video fit perfectly. So this is not a very good case for when you need to place in the device a video where the edges of the video must be visible and must be parallel to the edges, and you need to show like maybe a computer screen with some text on it and stuff like this, that it gets closer to the edges of your video. That's not going to work very nicely. Maybe if your content is sort of in the central area of the video, maybe that's going to work because people won't be able to run parallels with the edges of the device. Or this video where the user, the viewer watching this doesn't really know how the video was cropped and that you're missing a bit of a space at the edges. So that is one way to do this. That is the downside, because if the image is not isometric, it's not parallel sides, you cannot really match this particular effect to fit exactly, which is why we are using this bleed area. So how can we now make this bleed area disappear? Because I don't want this to be seen on top of the laptop video. If I zoom out a little bit here and I play, it's already playing quite nicely in place. Let me just push this one to the beginning of the clip there. So now it's going to play as this person is typing. You can see the video just stays there in place. And the advantage of this particular example is the video of the device is not moving. Okay, so how can we remove those bleed edges? Very easy to do that. I'm going to just go back to the start somewhere around here, and to do this, really, let's push the opacity. Let's leave the opacity alone for now because I need to see where the laptop edges are. Or you can turn off this video completely. So I'm going to push the opacity all the way up, but go to the track visibility on the bottom left, and I'm going to disable that track for now. So what we will do is we will use this new function in Camtasia 2021 called Media Matte. And if you don't have 2021 in 2020, you can do the same thing but using the track matte effect, which you can activate by right-clicking on the eye icon next to the track, and you can select these effects: alpha, alpha invert, luminosity, and luminosity invert. But because in Camtasia 2021 we have the track matte, the media matte, which behaves the same way but on a specific shape, we will achieve the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to do it in 2021. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. So I'm going to use just some simple annotations to create a masking area around my laptop, not inside of the laptop screen, outside. So going to annotations, I'm going to select shapes and just select one of these rectangular shapes. I'm going to make it red just so we can see clearly what we are doing. So I'm going to just scale this to match sort of the side of the edge at the top there and rotate it a little bit like this so it's parallel, and I'm going to move it all the way to the top. You can zoom in, and if you need very precise rotation control, which Camtasia again is a bit annoying with, if you go to the clip properties on the right, you've got rotation along the z-axis, and this is the only rotation we will use on this particular masking frame. You can place your cursor inside of the Z and just use up and down arrow, and you can see you can make very small incremental changes to the rotations. When you are done with this, just drag it to match perfectly the edge of the laptop. So that was one of them. Let's do the other ones the same way. I'm just going to Control C, Control V to duplicate this, move it down here, and zoom in again. And again, I can use the rotation here and arrow up and down to rotate this. If you want to move in faster, larger increments, hold down the Shift key and arrow, and that's going to rotate even more. So I wish this was easier to do like this. Anyway, let's align the bottom here with the red line. I think I need a little bit of a rotation there. That's perfect. And align it so it makes the whole frame disappear there like that, pixel to pixel. Fine, we have two of them now. Let's Control C, Control V again, and I'm going to rotate this almost 90 degrees, and we're going to do the sides now. Zoom in here, and again, come close to it. You can turn the opacity down just to see where it's at, and click on the inside of the Z-axis control there, and just use the arrow key to align that perfectly parallel to the edge, and push it in again. If you just need one or two more pixels, click again and up or down arrow to make it look perfect. Feel free to zoom in as much as you need, and that's perfect there. Finally, let's put the opacity back up again. Control C, Control V, finally the last one. Move it on there, and again, arrow keys inside of that and rotate. Make sure it's all perfect. Up and down like that, and then we will push this all the way to the edge just like this. So if you look now, you will see that that's the area of my video that I'm going to see inside of this red rectangle thing I've created. How can I make the mask? No problem. In Camtasia 2021, the track matte or the media matte, which you can apply to a clip, can be applied, and then whatever is underneath that clip with that media matte effect on it will be visible or not visible depending on the alpha effect you choose. So I want, of course, to have this frame visible at all times. If I activate my video track on the bottom there, you'll see now my video is framed by this red frame I created. So I'm going to select all four of these and expand them to match the full length of the clip with the laptop. So even if my video there finishes, I can still go forward and the laptop is still going to show a blank screen. So to apply the effect, by the way, because I don't want to see these red things, select all of them and group them. Control G to create a group with the frame. Let's rename it. Let's call it frame mask. And now for the effect, we go to the visual effects in Camtasia, visual effects, and find the media matte effect and just apply it to the frame mask group. So you can apply the media matte effect to groups as well. What this does by default is just apply the alpha effect, not the alpha invert, because I need it to show me the video inside of the frame of the laptop, not whatever is outside, I need to go to the right and switch to alpha invert. Finally, you can see my video playing on the screen. The frame has disappeared, and let's see how it works from the start. You can see my video clip is playing in there, and if I zoom in just to see it more accurately, you can see my video playing. Now, you may have noticed that there is a little bit of a white space at the bottom, which you can adjust now by either clicking on your video and resizing it if it's a bit off, or you can go inside of this frame mask group right here. So I'm just going to zoom in and show you, look, this white edge here, I don't want to be visible. Of course, you can click inside of this group, identify the bottom frame, which is this one, and slightly move it down like this, just to cut off whatever is extra pixels in there. So when you're done, you go out, you can see a perfect line at the bottom. And now if you play this, you're going to see that it actually plays perfectly in place. The advantage of this first example is that the laptop itself is not moving. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next example now, where the laptop image is actually moving. It's a video with a moving laptop, albeit slowly. So what you've seen here now happen is the video has finished, but the frame is still there. So you may want to cut the video of the laptop short, or if you don't care about the speed of the video inside of the frame, you can just right click on it, add clip speed, and then just drag this icon to match the end of the other clip. So now both clips, the laptop and the image inside of the laptop screen, are the same length. Of course, the laptop video inside might be a little bit stuttery now if you pulled it too much, you know, so it's slowing down a lot. But other than that, it just keeps playing here. And if it's kind of slow for you, in Camtasia 2021, you can apply proxy videos to this. So if you go to the media library and these videos are kind of large, you know, high resolution, and they kind of tend to lag or play slowly, you can always select them and right click and create proxies for them. Proxy video, create proxy video like this. So that's going to make them much faster in editing, but when you export the videos, they will just export with the highest resolution, because Camtasia is going to use the original clips for the final render. So that being said, let's move on to the second example, where I'm going to show you how you can do the same effect but on a moving device frame. So that's something that doesn't come with Camtasia. We're going to look at how to achieve the same effect but on a moving track, and have the video inside of it keep in sync, keep in step with that, and keep playing in the right place. So let's have a look at how to do that. So I'm going to create a new project here, of course, and I'm going to import now 2 new clips to this. The first video is that of the device. So I'm going to place the device video on the screen first. That's the one that we're going to use. And if I play this along, you see now that this laptop is moving, right? So if I play this, it is moving at a sort of constant speed, but it doesn't move in a straight line. So this can be a little unpredictable. So let me show you how you can do the same. Of course, I'm going to use the same picture of some flying over city kind of video like that. It doesn't really matter what video you use. And you can also create this and then put it in a placeholder, so that next time you replace that video in the placeholder with another video, and it will just appear in your device frame in the same location with the same transformation and everything to it. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to actually turn off the video first, and we will concentrate on the device frame. So the effect is exactly the same like the first example. We will need to frame this laptop because it's not a parallel edges. It's going to be like a bit of perspective, and you notice in my video it's actually turning, so the angle changes. It's now facing to the left, and now in the front, and then it's facing towards the right. So all of that we will need to account for and track and create a nice space for the video to fit in. So how can we do this? Well, the way to do this is using the animations, and as I said, Camtasia doesn't have motion tracking. So I have several tutorials on my channel where you will see Camtasia doing we will do manual tracking of an object moving along a irregular path or following another object. So those are the principles we will use in this video to track that frame. Okay, so let's just design the frame first, because that's the first step we want to do. Go to annotations again and select one of these ones. Let's make it red, just so that we can very clearly see what we are doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stretch this animation, this track of the frame, all the way to fit the exact length of my video. That's all the laptop I have. That's all the video I'm going to use for these shapes. So the first thing is to just place it at the start and align it to fit. Now, one important thing to do here, because the laptop is moving, we want to have this cover all of the area in the video from the top to the edge of the screen. So it's not enough to just place it here, because look, if this is moving, you notice it comes out of frame. But because it's a rectangular frame, all we need is 4. So I want to make each one of them stretch to the edges of the screen like so. Even make it taller than it needs to be, because that area is not going to be visible anyway. So make it taller than it needs to be, and then all we need to focus on is the rotation angle as it follows the device. Okay, I hear you say, okay man, why are you doing this in Camtasia? Because there's other programs out there that do the same thing, and it's much easier with a mask like in Premiere, and you track the mask and you're done. Fantastic, you can do it there. But what I'm trying to show you, if you're in a bind, you want to learn all that other program, you can do this in Camtasia for a short one-time project or whatever. It's very easy to achieve here, and don't need to learn all of that or buy any other software. So let's continue the tutorial. I'm going to zoom in here, and okay, I'm going to align this one to start with. The reason I do it at the start is because I want a good starting point. Of course, we will move this. So click on this and just go to the rotation again along the Z-axis. That's all we need. And use the arrow keys to just turn it slightly and then fit it right at the top. Maybe it needs a little more like this. So there you go. I've aligned it to the top. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the bottom. Control C, Control V. Move this down. You can see now it's quite parallel. If you look at it at this point, it's kind of parallel, so that is enough. But don't forget to scale it so it goes out of the screen on this side as well. Again, that's very important, because you don't want it to let anything escape outside of this area you want. Finally, let's go to another one. Control C, Control V. This is going to be the left one. I'm going to just do a 90-degree to start and move it on the left. If you zoom out, this is a little bit too much, so I'm going to make it not so tall. Zoom in again and rotate using the arrow keys, and just make sure it aligns perfectly with the laptop. Zoom in if you need to and pull it there just a little more, and then a bit to the right. You can also use the arrow keys to move an object, so you click on it and you use the arrow keys, and if you want it to move faster, Shift key and arrow keys moves it a lot more. So I'm just going to make it fit there, right there. You want to cut into the screen a little bit, because if the screen has a bit of a white bezel or something, you know, that's visible in there, or an embossed kind of area, you want to make sure that it doesn't show up, because then it gives away the whole thing. So zooming out, this is perfect now, and I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V again, and move it to the right side, and go again, zoom in, click on the Z, and use the arrow key to rotate this perfectly like so. Here we go. So perfectly. Now this is all framed. You can see everything is red outside of that screen area. Now you notice I was doing this in the very first frame at the beginning of my video. That was important, because I want to start off with the objects in place. So what we will be doing, and this may sound insane, but what we will be doing is we will track, or manually track, all of these 4 elements across the whole timeline to the end. And you'll be surprised, it's not actually, you don't have to do it frame by frame. That would take ages. You just need to do it when it moves off track. So very important thing. This is a very essential detail you want to remember. You can select all of these and go to the end of the movement. Notice now that I'm playing this, the laptop has completely gone away from that space. No worries. So I'm going to now add an animation, custom animation, to all 4 of these red shapes that define my frame. Okay, Shift and A will add a custom animation, and you can select all of these animations and just move them close to the end, or very, very close to the end. You can zoom in here to the frame level and place them right where the last frame is with your laptop. So I'm just going to pull them in here and let Camtasia snap them into place. The very last keyframe there. It may get harder to align them because of the snapping. You can turn off the snapping. I mean, 1 or 2 frames is not going to make a huge difference. So now, this is the important detail. We're going to pull these animations, all of them, we're going to pull them all way back with the starting keyframe right at the beginning there. Okay, so that's going to be our full length animation for all of these 4 elements. Now, the main ingredient of this animation to make it smooth and straight is we need to right click on them and say enable easing linear, because by default, and you probably have this in the defaults, Camtasia is going to create an exponential in and out easing on the animation, which means at the start it's going to start speeding up, and then after half the animation is gone it's going to start slowing down. That's going to make it very hard for us to track the animation, to track these frames exactly at the same speed, because if you create a cut in the animation, the resulting animations are going to be easing in and out. So Camtasia is going to make a right mess of it. They're going to start slowing down and speeding up all over the place. So you want to start out with a linear animation on all of them. They need to move at a constant speed. That's going to help us change the position along the way, and it's going to keep it at a constant speed all the way. So click that to make it linear. So you don't have to, if they're all selected, you only have to do it once, and it's going to apply for all of those animations. Now, here comes the fun part. We're going to go to the end of this and click on each one of these red elements and put them in place again. But I'm clicking on the very last frame. You see here, I'm clicking on the bottom one. It selects it on the timeline. I am placing my playhead in the last keyframe. That's what we want to do. If you add keyframes somewhere else, it's going to just keep moving it there in that position. So you notice now I'm at the very end of my animation. My bottom one is selected. And if I zoom in, it is obviously not aligned. So go into the Z and use the arrow key and align it. You can also use your mouse to just push it up in place like that. Do the same, so you're not changing your playhead, you're not moving your playhead, just go to the left one and you can zoom, move this panning, press the space key and pan it around, place your cursor in the Z and rotate the object, pull it in and adjust its position to match the laptop edge like this. Go the same here and you pull it to the left, and again use the arrow keys, and you're making an adjustment on all of these elements. I'm going to be a bit sloppy here because normally you would spend a little more aligning these, but I'm going to just go and quickly rotate just to demonstrate what's happening. So you need to zoom in and maybe pull them down like this. Fantastic. Now let's see what happens. This one is a bit off. I can see. Here we go. You can click on it and just use the arrow keys to adjust it. Fantastic. Now let's see what happened. If I zoom out, you will now see that my animation is kind of following the object on screen. obviously it's going to work fine at the edges. On the left at the start is perfectly aligned, and at the beginning it's perfectly aligned. Everything's nice. But at some point they all get, kind of lose the position because, of course, I haven't done any tracking. So what you do is you can scroll through the timeline and you kind of look at where they get really bad off base, okay? Or you can cut it in half. So you go to the middle of the animation, you don't slice anything, you just click again on each of them, and in one position you adjust the position. It also helps if you do one at a time. So if you're focusing on the bottom one, for example, I can zoom in here and go from the start, just start pulling, and then when it's gone off a bit and the object I am tracking changes direction, that's an inflection point where I need to stop and adjust the position. So just what I mean by this is, look, you're going there and it's climbing up, you see it, but now it's stopping climbing and it starts going down. This is the point where I'm clicking on my object and adjusting the location. Adjust the rotation too if you have to. That is fine. So you notice as I did that, in the timeline, Camtasia added a keyframe for that particular point. So you notice I've gone almost like 1/3 of the way and I've just made one adjustment. If I play this back, if I move back, you can see now that my red bottom frame piece is more or less following the same position. Of course, it's moving now and I've lost it again. So you basically will end up, depending on the movement of your frame object, you will end up adjusting this 4 or 5 times maybe, and you should probably be very good, with it. So if you want, you can always, just as a reference, if you don't care about following where the inflection points are up and down, you can just go and slice your animation in half. So I'm just going halfway through the remaining part, and I take my object and I kind of pull it down a bit, use the arrows just to rotate it, and then I move halfway on the remaining one, make sure it's still staying there, move back in this one, cut that in half, adjust it there a bit. And here, if it's losing its place, just adjust that, and then, So now, my bottom one, if I play this, it's pretty much staying in place. If you notice some glaring ones that have gone quite bad, you can go there, like here, for example, there's a big difference. Click on it, adjust it, keep playing. That's gone down a bit, so pull that down. So you notice you only need to stop in very, very few places until the end. So that was one of them. Now let me do the other ones. Okay, so I'm just going to choose the top one. I'm just going to move to the top one. Again, I'm going to go here and it's moving down here. I can move this, move it up, adjust the position, keep going. That's one point here where it's changing angle. Pull this down and use the rotation just to correct that a bit until the white kind of disappears from the frame. Go here, adjust that again. Another trick I have, if you want to do this very, very accurately, you can use the left and right larger than, greater than, and greater than and smaller than signs, which is the comma and the dot keys on your keyboard, to advance the animation frame by frame. So if you're going through this frame by frame, you can just hold it down to move, and when you notice, oh, it's off, you go back, click on your object and use the arrow key. So the arrow keys up and down and the dot and comma keys will move you through the animation. And when you notice it's off, you stop, you move it up and down, keep moving. It's off here. So if you really have a lot of movement, jerky movement in your video, of course, you're going to have to do more often keyframes than if the movement is kind of smooth. So on this one, if I go back now, I can see that my object is very rarely getting off track. So all I need to do is just move there, and when I notice it's gone off, I pause it, make some small adjustment, and keep going. So now I'm almost done with this one. I don't see any white. Yeah, so I should be fine with that one. And you get the idea. Let's do the left side now. Click on this object on the left, go to the start. You can see it's fine, it's fine. Here it's not fine. So adjust this, go to the rotation. Arrow up is going to move it counterclockwise. Move it to the right. It's very off here, but the angle is good. Still like this. Finally, I'm at the end. So one more go, just go back to where it's really getting off track. Maybe this one is too far back. Yes, it's covering too much. Here we go. The thing is to start from the left and go to the right, because now if I made changes back at the beginning, it's going to affect the position from this keyframe to the next. So as you can see here, I think it's gone into the screen too much. So I need to pull it back. So I'm creating another keyframe just to make sure it goes from A to B and doesn't cover my screen too much. So you just go between the two keyframes and adjust the position. And Camtasia is creating these keyframes automatically in between and adjusting all of the movement in between the keyframes. So that's the beauty of it, because you don't have to do frame by frame like other software does with automatic tracking. They kind of create frame by frame. So you don't end up with a bunch of, every frame has a movement keyframe in it. So that is nice. So now let's see the right side. I think I got the left one quite okay. I'm going to start with the beginning there, and I'm going to use my key here. The clip is selected, so I'm moving, and you can see here it's getting off track. Use the arrow key to pull it back. Use the Z key to just go there. Use the Z rotation. Keep moving. Okay, that's a bit too much. Rotate it and pull it to the left. You will notice that when you get to a keyframe, Camtasia turns it red. Keep moving. I think here it's got a bit off track, quite a bit. Align the bottom corner and the rotation. Click on this, pull it back. Keep moving. If you go through them and you notice that some of the other ones are getting off track, like you notice here on the left, I see a little bit of white, click on it and just use the arrow key to pull it back into place. That's going to create a frame on that one too. So you can, of course, move with this all the way. See, look, now the top one is off, pull it down a bit, and Camtasia will create the appropriate keyframe on the appropriate animation object you have selected. So I keep going. Finally, I think I got to the end. So I don't want to make this much longer than it should be. So I think I'm okay. I've just demonstrated the principle. Look, here it's gone a bit off. Click on it, pull it back. All right, one more look, just going behind the, just go back now, one more look throughout the animation, just to make sure there's no very bad ones, okay? This also matters, what size you're gonna play this at. If it's something kind of far away, you don't have to be perfectly accurate with it, but I think I got it now. So if I zoom out now, watch this. If I play this whole clip, you'll see now how my laptop screen is perfectly framed between these 4 red edges. Now, if you notice that, I noticed that it was a bit of white there on the left one, click on it and just move it in. On the top one, click playing. If you notice that little white line, so it's always good to just cut a bit into the object if you're doing it like this. If you're doing it the other way, it's okay to leave it in the white little white edge, because then when we're creating the mask, you're going to see too much cutoff. So it's your choice. You can always go back and adjust these inside of that group. So I am done tracking this. Everything is red except for the laptop screen. And now we're going to do the same we did with the other one. Select all of them, Control G to group them. And finally, we're getting to the final bit. I'm activating my video that I want to show in there, and we're going to do something like the same we've done, but not as accurate. What I mean by this is I go to this clip, and just to see what's happening, I can click on my red frames and turn the opacity down like that. So now I can see through where my video clip is, and really all you need to do is just go again to the start, adjust the size of your clip like so, just make it all, but notice what I'm doing here. I'm not actually cutting into it. I'm leaving some bleeding area. So this is one of the other things I mentioned before. The bleeding side, you need to still have that because the edges are not parallel. Okay, so I may try to Control Shift and rotate this. As you can see, I can try and rotate it to match perfectly or almost perfectly to the edges of my video. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I just want my clip. I can lock my frame track because I don't want to change by accident. So I can click only on my clip and just rotate this to fit. Control key and scroll will make it smaller, but if it's too small, you may want to just maybe hold Shift and just pull it up a bit, hold Shift and pull it down a bit. It's okay for it to be distorted a little bit. And also, to make your life easier, if it's a video that you don't really care about the edges too much, you know, you can make it a bit larger so you can cut into it a bit like a bleeding area, so you don't have to worry about the little edges kind of seeing through. Plus, it's going to help you when you go back and then you need to adjust the frame slightly. You're not going to by accident just start seeing pixels through it. Okay, so look at this. Now I am moving, and again, we need to do the same thing. Let's assume I'm only tracking this to the end here. So I'm going to slice this video, delete the rest of it. I don't care for that. And I'm going to go back. You can see that my frame is moving, yeah, because I've animated it, but my clip isn't. So my clip is losing position. So I need to animate my clip as well. These are the downsides of having to track a video clip on a distorted video clip. So what I go here back, you know, I go back to my clip and Shift and A, add an animation, stretch that animation for the entire duration, and we will essentially do the same we did with the frames, but this time not so much because we don't need it to be so accurate. We just need to keep it within that frame we created. So if I go back now, don't forget, right click on your animation, enable easing, turn that to linear, because again, we want to keep that at a constant speed throughout so we can cut into little keyframes here and there. So what I'm doing is I'm following my video, keep playing. So when I notice it's going out of frame, this is when I need to just adjust it. Adjust the position first. And if you notice it's getting off, just getting off the frame, Control Shift to rotate that a bit, pull the corners up or down, pull the other corner, and just make sure it stays in frame. Again, I said, if you want to make it easier on yourself, just zoom in a bit. Just make that larger by using Control and Shift key, pull the edge, and you notice I am resizing it like this. Control key will scale it proportionally. So it is still in frame. Keep moving. This is a linear, so here I lost it, move it again, and Control Shift, rotate it, change the angle. Try and follow the angle of the laptop you have it on. And always watch the edges, okay? You need to watch the edges so that it's always in frame. So I've done that. Let me just go back here. And at the very end, just one frame back. If you've pulled too much in here, you just click on that keyframe and just push it in just 1 or 2 frames. It doesn't have to be 1 or 2 frames short, that's okay. You can still see the video. Keep moving it, Control Shift, change the angle. You're always changing the opposite angle of the one you're trying to correct. So just you're going to see if I want to fix that little thing, I'm pulling on the left corner, top left corner here. So if it's not enough, you can always make it a bit larger and just move it in place like this. Don't worry about the bleeding area. Like you've seen in the other example, you're not actually going to see those at the end. So let's go back now. Halfway through, let's see what's happening. Okay, it is off. I am adjusting it. Control Shift. If it makes it easier for you to adjust this without Control Shift, you can always go on the right side in the properties and adjust each of the rotation axes independently. So for example here, if it's off on the y-axis, I can just use that arrow key to move up and down on the y-axis and just adjust my object like this. So finally, I'm going to cut this in half, go back here between them, make sure it's okay. Nothing to do. This is okay. So back and forth, you go through the animation halfway, halfway, halfway. That makes it much easier to figure out where you've been and where you've not checked it. And always adjust it just a little bit to fit it within the screen. When you're finally done, you just play your animation and you watch the corners. That's all you need. Play it 4 times, watch the corners. If at any point the image gets out of the corner, you need to adjust it at that point. It seems okay to me. So let's go back now. Control Shift and 7 will zoom out to the whole project. And now it's time for me to unlock the red frame. Let me zoom out and turn it into a mask. So what I'm doing here, I may have inadvertently moved this. So I'm going to just pull it back in place. Okay. So now, finally, let's apply the visual effect. Media Matte to it, Visual Effects, go to Media Matte, adjust this on, drag it onto the red frame group. And of course, don't forget to change the Media Matte from alpha to alpha invert. There you go. So now, I think I may have moved it by mistake. Oh no, I have the opacity set to lower. So I need to go back and turn the opacity all the way up because that's going to actually make it all cover everything, not let anything see through. So I told you I moved it by mistake. It's okay. I can just click on it and place it back in place like that. There we go. Here we go. So that's my group with the frame and my video with the laptop and my video that is inside of the laptop screen. Let's play this. You notice how my video stays right in that screen. Now, okay, you've got to a point where it's getting out of the frame. That is not a problem. It's probably a problem with the frame or a problem with the video. So either one of them you can go and adjust. If I go into the group now, for example, here, I can see that my left frame is off. I can click on the left frame and just use the arrow key to fix that. So here's the final product. So as you can see, this was a bit of a project. It took a lot of explaining, but I think you get the point. With the Media Matte effect, you can mask things, show things, hide things. And because of this movement in the 3D space kind of thing, we actually needed 4 elements to cover all sides of the device frame, carefully tracked and animated in place. Don't forget to turn your animation to linear instead of easing in and out. That's going to keep everything at a constant speed, and then just play with it and have fun. Align it, make sure you're spanning the entire duration of your animation, and when you're done you have a tracked object with a video frame, animated video device inside device, whatever you want to call it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching my video. If you've watched this far, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like my tutorials, I have over 70 Camtasia tutorials on my channel, and I have some amazing ones coming out. I am always trying to push Camtasia beyond its limits, and you may say that it was not made to do some of these things, but I love having fun and trying to discover how we can go beyond the limitations find workarounds, and get the work done. So if you enjoy my tutorials, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And if you have not upgraded to Camtasia, whatever version is out now, TechSmith comes with a new version every April. So I would appreciate your support if you are considering buying or upgrading Camtasia. There's a link in my description that if you click it and upgrade it, I will get a small commission at no extra cost to you. It will help support my channel and my work on this, and I will always appreciate it. Thanks very much for your time. See you on the next one.